You wake up in the morning feeling heavy, not just in your body, but in your chest. That subtle pressure that creeps up your throat. The sour taste that lingers even after brushing your teeth. You try to ignore it. Maybe it was dinner. Maybe it's just aging. So you do what everyone says is healthy. You peel an orange. You drink that fresh juice you've been told your whole life is packed with vitamin C and energy. It tastes good, so it must be helping. But what if I told you that small glass of juice is silently damaging your esophagus? That fruit you trusted is now one of the reasons your throat burns every night. For most people, especially those over 60, this truth is painful to accept. You've spent decades believing in the healing power of nature, and that belief was never questioned. Fruits were always the safest option. Natural, fresh, full of vitamins. But no one ever explained what happens when your body changes, when your stomach doesn't work the way it used to, when that same orange that once gave you strength now makes you reach for antacids in the middle of the night. You see, after a certain age, your body begins to send signals, but the world around you keeps handing you the same solutions meant for younger people. The digestive system slows down. The valve that separates your stomach from your esophagus begins to weaken. And that's when the acid, the very acid your stomach needs to digest food, starts climbing back up. It doesn't ask for permission. It burns. It inflames. It wakes you up. The most tragic part is that no one warns you. You're told to eat healthy. You're told to choose fruits. So you do. And yet, you suffer in silence, thinking it's your fault, that maybe you're just more sensitive now, that maybe you need stronger medication. But the truth is, many of the foods recommended for health are not made for the aging body. And fruits, as shocking as it sounds, are often part of the problem. Imagine this. A woman in her 70s starts her day with a bowl of fruit salad. Papaya, orange slices, bananas. She avoids sugar, skips coffee, and feels proud of her discipline. But by noon, her chest feels tight. Her throat feels raw. By dinner, she's bloated and tired. And that night, as she lies down, the acid creeps up again. Not because she made bad choices, but because no one ever told her that the very fruits she eats are too acidic, too sugary, too heavy for her digestion. This isn't about demonizing food. It's about understanding the silent changes happening inside you. When you were younger, your stomach produced strong acids and enzymes to break down anything you ate. But now, those levels have dropped. The balance has shifted. What was once a source of vitality can now be a trigger. And the worst part is that the symptoms don't always show up immediately. Sometimes they build slowly. A small discomfort after lunch, a bitter taste in the mouth at bedtime, a little cough that doesn't go away. All signs that your body is struggling with what you thought was good for you. Let's talk about orange juice, one of the most common morning habits. It contains ascorbic acid and citric acid, both powerful compounds that stimulate stomach acid production. If your stomach is already inflamed or your esophageal valve is weakened, that extra acid has nowhere to go but up. That's why many older adults feel worse after eating clean. Because what's clean for one age is irritating for another. Now, think about pineapple. Exotic, refreshing, rich in bromelain. This enzyme is praised for its anti-inflammatory properties. But few talk about how it can overstimulate a sensitive stomach, making digestion too aggressive and worsening acid reflux. The more your stomach fights to break down these foods, the more pressure builds. That pressure finds its escape through your esophagus. And bananas. Yes, even bananas. When ripe, they become sweet and soft, easy to chew, but they also ferment faster inside your gut. That fermentation causes gas. That gas causes pressure. That pressure brings acid back to the surface. And suddenly, your safe fruit is no longer safe. These aren't random facts. These are patterns seen every day in clinics and homes. Elderly patients confused by why their lifestyle seems perfect, but their discomfort won't go away. And most of them are eating fruits every single day, trusting in something that no longer fits their biology. No one wants to believe that something so innocent can do harm, but the body doesn't lie, and pain is its way of asking you to listen. You don't need to stop eating fruits forever, but you do need to learn which ones serve you now. Not the younger you, the real you, the one who deserves to eat in peace, sleep without heartburn, and stop fighting a silent war every time you sit down to eat. If this video spoke to something you've been feeling, let us know in the comments. Your story could help someone else going through the same thing. And if you found value here, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next videos made just for you. Your body is not betraying you. It's just trying to adapt, but it needs your help. It needs you to stop feeding it like it's still 30 years old. Because healing doesn't come from more medication. It comes from finally understanding what your body has been trying to tell you all along. And sometimes, that message starts with something as simple as putting down the fruit that hurts and choosing the one that heals. You always thought it was just acid, that burning feeling in your chest, that strange cough that lingers after meals, that tightness in your throat that no amount of water seems to wash away. Doctors call it reflux. You call it a constant interruption, but what you may not realize is that behind this invisible fire is a delicate chemical war. A war triggered not just by what you eat, but by what those foods do inside your body the moment they touch your stomach lining. Take a moment to think about the last time you ate something sweet and juicy. Maybe it was a slice of pineapple, a handful of grapes, or a piece of ripe mango. It felt fresh, it felt natural. But what happened hours later? A slight discomfort, maybe, a subtle pressure in your chest, that bitter taste creeping back up. You brush it off, thinking it's just something that comes with age. But the truth is far more precise. Fruits are complex. They're not just bundles of vitamins. They contain acids, sugars, enzymes, fibers, and active compounds that can either support digestion or disrupt it entirely. And when the digestive system begins to slow down with age, the balance of these elements becomes critical. One wrong combination, and you're no longer nourishing your body. You're igniting it from the inside. Let's begin with citric acid. It's found in high amounts in fruits like oranges, lemons, grapefruits, and pineapples. It's what gives them that sharp, tangy flavor. But citric acid is also a known trigger for gastric acid production. When your stomach is already sensitive, adding more stimulation pushes it to overflow. It's like turning on a faucet that has nowhere to drain. The acid builds, the pressure rises, and the result is a backflow that travels up your esophagus, burning everything in its path. But citric acid is only part of the story. Fructose is another player in this digestive drama. This natural fruit sugar is easily tolerated in small amounts, but when consumed in larger doses, especially in soft fruits like grapes, apples, or mangoes, it starts to ferment. That fermentation doesn't happen immediately. It happens slowly, as the fruit sits undigested in a stomach that no longer works at full capacity. The byproduct of this fermentation is gas. Gas builds pressure, and that pressure pushes acid upward, right where you don't want it. Many older adults experience bloating and don't even realize it's tied to their fruit intake. They assume it's bread or beans or something heavier, but even a morning smoothie packed with fruit can lead to a swollen, distended belly by afternoon. It's not about the weight of the food, it's about the chemistry. Another overlooked factor is the fiber in fruit, especially pectin. This soluble fiber is found in apples, bananas, pears, and citrus fruits. While pectin can be great for regulating bowel movements, in an aging digestive system, it becomes more complicated. Instead of moving smoothly through the gut, it can create a thick, slow-digesting mass that holds food in the stomach for longer. That delay increases acid production. It extends exposure, It keeps the stomach working overtime when it should already be resting. Imagine your stomach as a factory. In your youth, this factory had hundreds of workers. Everything was processed quickly, efficiently, without delay. Now, many of those workers have retired. The machinery is slower. The systems are outdated. You can't keep feeding it with the same load and expect the same performance. Something will break. And usually, it starts with acid slipping where it shouldn't. Now consider how all of this happens silently. There are no warning signs on the label of a mango. No sticker on an apple that says, "Not recommended for people with slow digestion." No one at the market tells you that grapes can trigger reflux if eaten in the evening. You're left to figure it out on your own. Trial and error, pain and confusion. That's what makes this so frustrating. One woman shared her story. She had suffered from nightly reflux for over 3 years. She avoided fried foods, alcohol, coffee, and even spicy meals. Still, the burning returned night after night, until one day she removed just one item from her diet, her daily apple, the one she ate religiously every afternoon as a snack. Within a week, the symptoms were nearly gone. All because her body could no longer handle the fructose and fiber load it once did. This kind of story isn't rare. It's just rarely told. Because we don't question fruits. We don't suspect the foods we've labeled as healing. But aging changes everything. And to continue feeling good, we have to change with it. Even the timing matters. Eating acidic or fermentable fruits late in the day is especially dangerous. Your digestion slows down naturally in the evening. Lying down after eating makes it even easier for acid to travel upwards. That means a simple grape or a slice of pineapple at dinner can sabotage your entire night. Have you been eating any of these fruits without knowing they were causing harm? Share your experience below. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more practical health tips that truly respect your age and your journey. And let's not forget enzymes like bromelain in pineapple and papain in papaya. These are marketed as digestion aids. But when the digestive system is already inflamed or compromised, they can stimulate too much activity. That overstimulation is not helpful. It becomes harmful. The goal is not to force digestion, it's to support it gently, wisely, in ways that align with your body's current abilities. So what's the solution? It's not about fear, it's about awareness. Knowing which fruits contain high levels of citric acid. Recognizing when fructose is becoming too much. Understanding the way certain fibers behave inside your body now. And most of all, respecting your own symptoms. Reflux is not random. It's a message, a warning, a guide. And if you listen carefully, it can lead you to healing. Your body is trying to protect you, but it needs you to stop following advice made for younger people with younger stomachs. It needs you to see that health is not just about what you eat. It's about how your body responds to it. And when your body speaks through pain, discomfort, or reflux, it's not being difficult. It's being honest. The way forward isn't giving up fruits entirely. It's giving up the illusion that all fruits are harmless. It's choosing those that work with your digestion, not against it. It's slowing down, paying attention, and remembering that healing is not about doing more. Sometimes it's about doing less. Less acid, less sugar, less irritation, more peace, more rest, more comfort. Because at this stage of life, you've earned the right to eat without fear. You sit down for what seems like a light snack, a small bowl of fruit, a few slices of orange, some banana, maybe a handful of grapes or apple slices. You feel good about the choice. After all, it's fruit. It's natural. It's supposed to be safe. But within an hour, your chest feels warm. A strange pressure builds in your throat. You feel a tightness that doesn't go away, no matter how much water you drink. The air feels heavier. And suddenly, what seemed like a healthy decision starts to feel like a mistake you didn't even know you were making. The truth is, not all fruits are gentle on the stomach. especially not when that stomach has aged. The fruits that once energized your mornings are now silently disturbing your digestion. And it's not because they've changed, it's because your body has. Start with oranges, probably the most iconic symbol of health, full of vitamin C, bright, refreshing. But the citric acid in oranges is incredibly aggressive. For someone dealing with acid reflux, even half an orange can trigger a strong acid response. Many people believe that diluting the juice helps, but the acidity remains. And when your esophagus is already inflamed or your stomach is slow to empty, that small glass of orange juice becomes a chemical irritant that lingers for hours. Some think eating it in the morning is safe, but for an empty stomach, it's even worse. There's nothing to buffer the acid. It hits raw tissue directly. Now think about pineapple. It tastes exotic. It smells like vacation. But behind the sweetness hides bromelain, an enzyme that breaks down proteins and soft tissues. While bromelain is praised in nutrition circles, for those with compromised stomach linings, it can overactivate digestion. This overactivation causes your stomach to work harder, often producing more acid than necessary. Combine that with pineapple's natural acidity, and what you have is a fruit that inflames a tired digestive tract rather than helping it. Bananas seem harmless, especially to older adults. They're soft, easy to chew, easy to swallow. But when bananas ripen too much, they become sugar bombs. Their starch turns into fructose, which, as previously explained, ferments quickly in the gut. That fermentation creates gas, and that gas pushes pressure upward, making reflux more likely. Most people eat bananas thinking they'll soothe the stomach, but the riper the banana, the more trouble it causes for digestion after 60. Then there's the apple. It's often labeled the perfect fruit, and in many ways, it is. Crunchy, portable, full of fiber. But that fiber is mostly pectin, which can slow digestion in certain people. Apples also carry a moderate amount of fructose. Combine these two in a stomach that doesn't process efficiently anymore, and you get extended gastric retention. That means food stays in the stomach too long, increasing acid production and pressure. For some, switching to green apples might help, since they are slightly lower in sugar. But even then, the real issue is how your body handles that fiber and sugar now, not how healthy the apple looks on the outside. Mangoes are next. Sweet, juicy, often blended into smoothies. But mangoes are high in both sugar and fiber, which makes them hard to digest quickly. Their flesh is dense, and their sugars ferment fast. For someone younger, this is rarely a problem. But for someone over 60, with reduced digestive enzymes and slower peristalsis, mangoes can sit too long in the stomach, leading to bloating, pressure, and eventual reflux. One story that stands out is of a man in his late 60s who had switched to a fruit-only breakfast, adding mango daily. Within weeks, his reflux worsened so badly that he couldn't sleep lying flat. Only after eliminating mango did his symptoms ease. It was the last fruit he expected to blame. Grapes are another quiet offender. Small, harmless, easy to snack on, but packed with natural sugars that your gut bacteria love to ferment. And because they are eaten quickly and often without chewing well, they enter the stomach fast and unbuffered. The result is a sudden load of sugar that starts to break down before it's even digested. The skin of the grape, although thin, can be irritating when the digestive tract is already inflamed. Combine that with its sugar load, and you have a perfect storm for acid production and gas buildup. Lastly, the most surprising of all, the tomato. Technically a fruit, often treated like a vegetable, found in sauces, salads, and juices. It contains both citric and malic acid. Both are harsh on an aging stomach. Even a simple tomato slice in a sandwich can be enough to trigger symptoms in a sensitive person. And when tomatoes are cooked down into sauces, the acidity becomes even more concentrated. Many elderly people eat tomato-based soups or pastas thinking they're light meals. but they're unknowingly bathing their esophagus in acid every single time. It's not about blaming the fruit. It's about acknowledging the shift your body has made. A younger digestive system is resilient. It adapts, it neutralizes, but as time passes, the stomach becomes more reactive. The esophagus becomes more delicate. The valve that once kept acid where it belonged loses tone, and every choice you make becomes either a step toward healing or another blow to an already irritated system. Many seniors fall into the trap of eating fruits to lose weight or stay light. They replace heavy meals with fruit salads, thinking they're doing something good, but they end up feeling worse. Not because of the quantity, but because of the chemistry. The reactions that happen inside their bodies are different now. A fruit that gave energy at 30 can now steal your sleep at 70. What part of this video resonated with you most? Leave a comment and join the conversation. And if you're not already subscribed, now's the perfect time. We're here to help you feel better every single week. Understanding this difference can be life-changing. It means you no longer have to guess. You no longer have to accept discomfort as a mystery. You can begin to pinpoint what's harming you and make informed choices. Choices that bring relief, comfort, peace. And it all starts by recognizing that the foods you trust the most can sometimes be the ones causing you the most pain. Not out of malice, but because your body has simply moved into a new chapter. One where digestion demands a different kind of care. A slower rhythm, a wiser eye, a quieter plate, one that doesn't fight back every time you try to do something good for yourself. You've tried everything: antacids, elevating your bed, drinking more water, eating earlier, skipping the obvious triggers like coffee and fried foods, and still, night after night, the same discomfort returns. That burning sensation in your throat, that pressure in your chest, that sour taste that creeps up while you're lying in the dark, hoping for rest. You've adjusted your life around this pain. You eat smaller meals. You avoid dinner invitations. You stop eating after a certain time. And yet, your stomach still feels like it's punishing you for something. But maybe the real punishment isn't what you're doing wrong. Maybe it's what you haven't yet been told to do right. The path to peace starts with knowing that healing doesn't always come from medication. Sometimes it comes from understanding how to create the right environment inside your body. And for those suffering with acid reflux or chronic heartburn, especially later in life, that environment begins at the dinner table. More specifically, with what you choose not to put on your plate. The first step is to eliminate the fruits that we now know are irritating your stomach. The second step is knowing what to replace them with. You don't need to fear food. You just need to feed your body the right fuel for this stage of life. One of the best choices you can make is to eat fruits that are low in acid, easy to digest, and calming rather than stimulating. Take papaya, for example, but not the overly ripe, sugary kind. Green papaya, slightly firm and less sweet, contains the enzyme papain, which helps break down proteins gently without overstimulating acid production. It soothes instead of inflames. It supports digestion without rushing it. Try combining a few slices of green papaya with a spoon of soaked oats or a sprinkle of cinnamon. The result is not just soothing to the stomach, but calming to the nervous system. It becomes a nighttime ritual that invites rest instead of resistance. Another excellent alternative is pear, especially when lightly cooked. Pears are alkaline-forming in the body, meaning they help neutralize excess acid rather than feed it. When steamed or baked, their fiber softens and becomes easier to digest. Add a touch of cinnamon, and you've created a naturally sweet dish that warms the belly and helps protect the esophageal lining. Avocado is another unexpected ally. Though not sweet, it's technically a fruit, and its healthy fats help coat the stomach lining. This protective layer can reduce irritation and prevent acid from climbing. You can have a few slices with toast, or even blend it into a creamy base for a soothing evening smoothie with almond milk and a dash of chamomile. Even oatmeal, when paired with the right fruit, can work wonders. Choose a non-acidic base, add a bit of flaxseed or chia for fiber, and mix in half a banana that's slightly green, not overly ripe. This provides sustained energy without overwhelming your digestive system. But more than what you eat, it's about how you eat. Slow, seated, grateful. Avoid lying down immediately after meals. Give your body the chance to process without gravity working against it. Elevate your upper body slightly when resting. Take short walks after dinner. Listen to music that relaxes you. Read something uplifting. Shift your focus from restriction to restoration, because that's what your body is asking for now. Not harsh solutions, but gentle support. It's also time to reclaim your nights. No more waking up in the middle of the night coughing. No more panic about keeping antacids next to the bed. No more sleeping propped up, afraid to move. You deserve deep rest. You deserve to eat without fear. And you deserve to feel good in your own body without constantly fighting it. When you begin to listen, to truly listen to what your body has been whispering all along, everything changes. It's not too late. You haven't missed your chance. Every new day is an invitation to do better, feel better, live better. And it starts with small, powerful choices at the table. So the next time you reach for that fruit, remember that your body is not what it was 30 years ago. And that's not a weakness. It's wisdom. Now you know what works for you. Now you know what harms you. And now you have the chance to build a life that supports your healing, not your suffering. Thank you for being here, for choosing to understand your body instead of ignoring it, for taking the time to learn what so few people talk about. You've just taken a step that most never will, and your body will thank you for it in the quiet of the night when you finally sleep through without pain. If this message helped you, imagine what's waiting in the next video already on your screen. Click it now and discover the foods you should be eating every morning to protect your stomach and restore your energy. I'll be waiting for you there.